Linkage Radio, you're live.
CHYNA Nicole, please.
Yes, this is CHYNA Nicole. Is this Mr. Merritone, Winston Merritone Blake?
It's Winston Merritones Blake.
Wow. What an honor. What a pleasure. Welcome to the CHYNA Nicole Show, Mr. Winston Merritone Blake. We are so honored to have you here with us today.
I just want to intersperse say that the honor is shared between both of us.
Well,
between both of us. It's an honor for me too.
Oh, wow.
It's a pleasure to call you to be interviewed.
Well, yeah.
I really don't know, consider myself that special, but I appreciate love that you thought of us and you thought us that special. On behalf of the Merritone family, which we are, we acknowledge it, and it's a great honor that has been bestowed on us for you to call us to give us moments of your time.
Oh, you are so refined and so dignified, elegant, and full of class. And we're honored to have you here on Linkage Radio 101.5 FM. We broadcast out of New York, the Bronx and Mount Vernon areas, and globally on the internet around the world. So you have many listeners, many fans. Would you like to say hello to all of your fans that are listening?
Listen, for all the people, and some friends just came to look for me because where I live in Jamaica, I have a lot of mangoes. So a lot of friends from overseas came to partake of my mangoes. And they were talking about, they were Merritone people for years. And I'm just saying that so many people met and started families out of Merritone. And I'm just saying that that was very special. And I'm just saying there were also a lot of divorces. Also, because the Merritone, we created both. We created a great balance.
Yeah.
We brought people together, and because of that, people, coming together sometimes, usually, over a period of time, people find indifferences that make them kind of move away from each other a little.
Right.
Only with time to come back again to find that those indifferences could have been worked out in a different way.
That words of a wise man, yes. That is true. You live and you learn, and as you say, and I think the world would be a better place, and because of the Merritones, the world is a better place, because I think what you've said, what I've gotten from what you're saying is that you are able to, people that have differences are able to join together and say, we could have handled this a little bit differently. And the music that you create, that you share during your playouts, and of course we're going to get into your history with the amazing people that you've helped discover. So yes, totally agree. And as I'm aging, I think about my life, so I take that personally too. How can I apply what you've just said, that jewel that you just dropped, that knowledge that you just dropped? How can I apply that to my life, handling differences in a different way?
Nicole, we are blessed.
Yes.
Because we have been in the business. This year is going to be 65 years.
Yes.
That is 6 decades. And we have seen it in front of us. We have seen that revelation that I spoke about a while ago. We have seen it in front of us. We have seen people come together, meet, start families, separate, go apart, and come back.
Wow.
And we see them in the club with having their reunions.
Wow.
With their children.
Wow.
We played a special function recently. This lady who was something like either 80 or 80 something, going to 90 years old, and she said, listen, I wanted to celebrate, the only place I could celebrate my birthday was at Merritone, because all the members of my family came to Merritone. My daughters, my sons, I watched them go, I watched them come, and so, but it was always Merritone. So the only place that I would feel comfortable celebrating my birthday. And she had a wonderful, wonderful night. We took pictures, and we were blessed. And I'm just saying, truly, this is a blessing. Just to see the good you do. My grandmother always told me that the good you do lives after you.
Yes.
You know, it comes back.
Yes.
What we are seeing, even last night, because we played last night at a club, and we saw all these people, and they just came to listen. We just came just to say thanks, that we love you, and just to make sure that you're still here, and make sure that we are a part of the contribution to make sure that you're still here.
Oh, that was at the waterfalls, correct?
Waterfalls, yes.
Beautiful. And I got to tell you, Mr. Winston Merritone Blake, I spoke to your brother, and the audience has really gravitated to his rich story that has probably been documented, but not in this way. And that's why, and I knew today would probably have some parallels with the last interview with your brother, but this is you to tell your story. And this is the platform we're providing for you to be free and freely express what it means to you, how did it, the formative years. And so I'm going to take you back a little bit. First of all, do you mind sharing when you were born? Your brother shared with us he's 70 years old.
Yeah, man. 1940, Scorpio, November 19th. As a matter of fact, I have a birthday just a few days away.
Yeah.
I'm going to be celebrating 75 years young.
Yay!
I never say old.
Yay! 75 years
November
young.
19th, I'm going to be 75 years young.
November 19th, 1940. You'll be 75 years old.
1940, yes.
Yes, you'll be 75
Morant,
years.
St. Thomas.
Yes, yes.
And if I want to be specific, I was born on a road, like a side street called Highbury Road in Morant, St. Thomas. And when I look at the history of St. Thomas, I realize a lot of great things and great people were associated with the parish of St. Thomas.
Yes.
And I tend to align myself with all the good things that St. Thomas have given the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they have given the world a lot of great things. Apart from our bananas, and apart from our agriculture, and apart from everything else, St. Thomas really is home of Merritone music. 1950.
Yes.
My father, which was another Winston St. Valentine Blake. And people ask me why I kiss, because I have this thing where I kiss men and women. I kiss everybody I meet. I hug and kiss.
You kissed me, you know that, as your student back at IRE FM sister station, Zip FM, where we just like, friendly, just kiss as a teacher. You were the teacher and I was a student. So I'm just kind of, gloating right now saying, yes, I was kissed by Mr. Winston Merritone Blake in a friendly way.
That's my signal.
Yes.
I was giving some people a joke because, Jamaica probably is still a sort of a homophobic country.
Yeah.
I remember one night at Waterfalls, I gravitated to kissing one of my male friends.
Right.
I said, no, Winston, no, don't kiss me tonight. And I said, no problem. And a week passed, and I passed him, and he stopped me and said, Winston, whop him. And I said, what's the problem? He said, I'm not getting no kiss, I'm not getting no hug. And I thought that was, every time I'm traveling, I'm going over the way, I laugh, and I said, well, Winston, I'm not getting no kiss. I said, but so you never wanted it, you want me to know I'm to you. I said, boy, Winston, sometimes, every minute, sometimes there's a minute in life when you act like an asshole. And that night I was just like an asshole. So I said, well, let's get so. What I do comes from my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Pure, clean love. That's what I give.
Yes.
And the world can always do it, a lot of that.
That's true.
That's the power behind the Merritone, the whole Merritone thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the music we play.
Mm-hmm.
It's that everybody comes to Merritone feels like a part of one big
happy
family.
Yes.
because we make sure that we go around, we hug and we kiss everybody and we make them feel like, listen, you are one of us. You made us. Because nobody can make it alone.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your being in the home with your father, at which I didn't know that you were named after your dad, Winston St. Valentine's Blake. St. Valentine? Blake? Mm-hmm.
I was blessed. I'm in my room now speaking to you, and I'm looking at a book that he gave me.
Yeah.
With his name. Because every time I want to make sure what his name was, I have to read the book. And it says, to Winston, from Winston St. Valentine Blake. And I'm saying, oh, that is where all the love came from, you know?
Yeah, St. Val, right?
Valentine, you know?
That's right.
We celebrated that long before Valentine's Day.
That's right. That's right. So talk about being in the home with your family from your perspective, with your brothers. You have 4 of you, right? There were you, Trevor, Monty, and Tyrone.
It's a very, very interesting story.
Yes.
My mother was rooted in Adessa Blake. She came. We're all St. Thomas people. We're all from St. Thomas.
Right.
They came from, and that part of the family came from Bath. You know, the mineral baths up that way, Bath, St. Thomas. My mother's side, and my father's side came from Seaport, which is the sugar estate, the estate, Church Island, which is from the estate side of Jamaica. And they met and they formed this union that produced 4 sons. My eldest brother is Trevor. Winston, my other brother is Tyrone. Unfortunately, Tyrone passed away.
Yeah, condolences.
Yeah, he passed away, and we still celebrate his life. In everything we do, we celebrate his life.
Of course.
Because he made his contribution in his own unique way.
Yes.
He was not involved in the music the way that we were, but in his own unique way, he made he was a people's person, and he made a contribution that wherever we go, people always remember him and always ask him.
That's so nice.
So, and it was a time in Jamaica.
So Trevor still, I'm sorry, Mr. Blake, is Trevor still alive?
Trevor is still alive. He lives in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, really?
He lives in Hartford, Connecticut.
I taught in Connecticut for a long time, and I didn't live too far from Hartford, so that's interesting.
He lives in Hartford, Connecticut, with his family. When he left Jamaica, that's where he chose to go.
Okay.
And they've been there, and he's happily married
Nice.
to his wife Marina, and he has children, grandchildren, and he's very comfortable. As a matter of fact, when because I play a lot overseas. I used to play a lot in Connecticut and those places.
Right.
When I play overseas, he sometimes joins me on the bandstand and plays also. You know.
That's amazing.
He is a very, 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 very important part of the Merritone legacy. As the elder brother, we always tried to get his approval for most of the things that we did, you know. When it took too long to come, we went ahead and do it. But he was always there in the Merritone, in the old Merritone cycle, always there. And we still keep him there in whatever we do.
Right. So what are some memorable moments growing up?
The memorable moment is that
what comes to mind? Being in the home and seeing your father. I understand your mom passed away very early.
Yes, it's very, very early.
And your grandmother raised you already, right? Yes. Your grandmother raised you, rather. I'm getting some information from the last interview with your brother, right?
On a vast property called Baymount in St. Thomas. Memorable moment was always Sundays. Sundays, what we did on Sundays is that everybody was supposed to open. We ran the house like a radio station. So on Sunday morning, we'd say 5-6 o'clock, Trevor, you would open the radio station. So at 5 o'clock, you'll get up and you'd start playing records. and you day. And then after 4, 5, 6 hours, somebody else would take over the shift and play.
Really?
And after 4, 5 hours, somebody would take over the shift and play. And after 4, 5 hours, one of us else would take over the shift and play.
So what age was this when your father was playing this music on a Sunday and you guys took turns playing a shift? What age was that?
We were in our teens. We were in our... My father died, I think, in 1950, 56 or 51 or 56. And my mother died very, very early.
Right.
She died when she was 29 years young.
Yeah.
And we played music all day until probably would go back into the next morning. Because the ships would just continue, and the music would get better and better and better because everybody did their rehearsal and everybody tried to outdo the other person.
Did you look at it as a chore then when you were growing up? And no?
No. In those days, the only other thing you had to do was to go to the theater, the movie theater. It was something to do. It was occupation. It was total occupation. It kept us together. It kept us in tune with the music. It kept us our knowledge of the music because we tried to outdo each other. So from those days, we were always searching and seeking and researching, and we were always trying to present something on each program that the other person didn't play or didn't know.
So where would your records come from? I understand just from my previous research that there was a record shop that you'd go to get some records.
Okay. This is going to blow your way, Nicole.
Yes.
You know what we were playing in those days?
Vinyl?
In coming to talk to you, I just passed an old stack of them in the drawer in what we call the living room here.
Yes. We call it the same way here.
78. Have you ever seen a 78 record?
I seen the 8. I remember the 8-track.
No.
And I remember the vinyl. LPs.
This is vinyl.
Yes.
78. It plays. It goes. It plays like it's at a very fast rate.
So it's not a record player like with the vinyl back in the day?
No. You put a needle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you have a pickup head. You put in a needle. It plays with a brass needle or a silver needle, and you put it in the pickup head, and you play the 78 record.
I remember the turntable with the needle, but I think you may be talking about a different device before that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were not playing my tapes
because I don't remember changing needles, even though I was really young. Wow.
No, it was. You change needles. You take up the pickup head, and you have a screw in the head.
Mm-hmm.
You take out the needle, you put in the needle, and you screw it back in. Wow. And you play the record.
Now, what was the name of that? It wasn't. You said 7/8. What was that? What was the name of that device?
78. 78. It was 78.
The name of it was 78.
There were 3 speeds of records came on. It came on 33 and a third, 78, and then it went to 45.
Oh.
And after 45, it went to tapes and cassettes and all sorts of other things. But originally when it started out, we were born with a gramophone in our house where we had to wind up the gramophone.
What?
Put this thing on the. If you watch old time movies.
Yeah, I've seen some collectibles in museums. When I take my son to museums, we look at that stuff. Yeah.
It is. We still have those records and we still keep them because they're. I did an interview recently with a young person who never ever saw a 78 record.
I think I've seen 78 though. I think the 78 you're talking about like a 12-inch, like a LP, like a vinyl record, right? The big one. Right. Yeah, I've seen that. Right. I just didn't know. I didn't know though. You taught me something again. I feel like I'm taking another class with you. I didn't know it was called 78 though.
We call them 78.
You called them 78. Like that was a common name for them. Okay.
And then after that came 45s, and then after that came various other things.
Wow. Wow.
Tapes, cassettes, whatever.
So you took turns in your home on Sunday. That was the famous, and you would go to where to get records?
Okay. That's a very interesting question. where we lived in St. Thomas, on top of the hill,
Yes.
at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the mornings, when the statics died, we had one radio station in Jamaica, one radio station. It was called ZQI. It's now RGR.
What was it called?
ZQI then.
ZQI, and that's now RJR.
It's now RGR,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we who live in the country, we would have after 6, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, here get in the station, because there would be a lot of interference from Cuban station, other people who also broadcasted. Miami stations and Cuban stations came in on a network. So, you know, the later it is, the better and clearer your radio station. But they didn't broadcast until about 10 or 11 o'clock. They switched off.
So question, Mr. Blake. You're saying that, and everyone, we're talking to Winston Merritone Blake from the Merritones. They're celebrating 65 years of Merritones being in existence, and they've discovered many, many artists, and we'll talk about that. So that's who we're talking to right now on 101.5 FM with CHYNA Nicole on Linkage Radio. So my question is, when the station, well, you mentioned the broadcaster from Miami. So back then they were broadcasting from a different location?
Yeah, radio station that broadcast from it, which was WINC, WGBO. Those are popular stations we heard a lot in Jamaica.
So they were still broadcasting from another location. What year was this?
They were from a totally different location. But they would come in on your network broadcast from about 6, 7 o'clock in the evening.
Right. What year? About what year? Do you know what year this was about?
Yeah, man, this was in the 50s.
1950s, okay.
I think about 55, 56, 57.
Okay.
You know, you would get a lot of intervention from these radio stations. As a matter of fact, sometimes we would be very, very upset because we couldn't hear our favorite program sometimes. Because these other stations, they had more powerful antenna. I mean, what you call more powerful equipment, and so they came in on your network. And they actually took it over.
So
in other words, when you're trying to listen to your network,
Right.
you listen to other stations. And a lot of Cuban stations too.
Yeah. We have Cuban in our family, so yeah, the mixture with Cuban and Jamaica. I mean, Cuban is the next island over, so I'd imagine, the mixture. So the reason why you mentioned the station, is it because you heard records on that station and you wanted to collect those records?
Of course.
Okay.
But it's going to get even better than that.
Yeah.
At 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning a.m. because we were night people, we would tune in and get some stations coming from Gallatin, Tennessee. There were 2 famous record companies. Ernie's Record Shop. Ernie's and whoa.
It'll come back to you.
Ernie's and
It'll come back.
They had programs that came over on the radio in about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's interesting.
And they presented specials. They played all this music because those, what we're talking about, it's long before reggae, darling.
Tell us again. Educate us again.
The rhythm and blues, R&B.
Yes.
When we started music, what we used to play was R&B, rhythm and blues. Fats Domino, Roscoe Gordon, Joe Turner, Dumbo 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 Dumbo, before rock and roll. That's what we played in the dances, rhythm and blues, which preceded the whole Jamaican music scene. It was when that market dried up totally in the late 50s that they started to do reggae music. But what we play was rhythm and blues. So we would listen to these stations And those stations, like in Florida, played light music. That we heard like the pop charts, like what was on the what we call now the Billboard charts, the top 10,
right,
on the Billboard charts.
Right, and that necessarily was it. Would you say that was predominantly music that represented black people at that time?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Okay.
These stations that we played represented black people.
Right.
That's why we made a special effort to get up and listen to them. And then what we would do, they would advertise all of these R&B records, right?
I remember something like that. I want to hear what you have to say, because what you have to say is way more important than what I have to say. But I remember them taking like R&B records that were really performed by black artists and putting white people's names on it. I remember a documentary.
That's what really happened. They started the popular records by the R&B black artists that were charted but never really reached the top. What they did, they used because the popular artists they were like the Connie Francis and those people and Patty Page and a lot of people. They sang over a lot of those records, and they just zoomed up to the top of the white charts. So from those days, there was a sort of a what I would probably call there were like an anger in the music industry in terms of we make the records, but we don't get them charted to the top to the top Billboard charts.
So tell us that
people come and they take them and they're gone right up to the charts.
So I gather, the frustration at that time.
It's the frustration, and the frustration at that time was I suppose when I read about the infestation of drugs in the music industry.
Yes.
I think that all of that is a result of these people doing so much things and carrying the records to the people who turn them down, and next thing they know, the records that turn down, they give it to white people and they're charged and they go right to the top. And those days, black people didn't know a lot about publishing and securing their rights. So the white guys just bought out the publishing and the rights, and so they made all the money. So the industry was one-sided from way back, from in the 50s, early 50s.
Wow.
Very one-sided in terms of publishing, because we didn't know anything that when we wrote a record or we secured a record,
okay,
that we could secure it by registering the record,
right, right,
with a various organization that would protect your rights for the record. We were not aware of that.
Thank you for sharing that. So taking you back to when you were listening to the records on air, and Ernie, you mentioned that Ernie's record shops was one of them. I'm thinking that you probably wanted to play music that represented you as us as a people, as of African descent, and even though we're all unique, and hearing those songs and having artists not being recognized, that's interesting. Have you ever revealed it that way, Mr. Blake, Mr. Winston Merritone Blake?
Yes, I cannot help but revealing it, because it affected me in a way, because we saw that we lived through that period where we saw all the records that we played in the early days that were popular by black artists, turned over by the white people and becoming monster hits, and while the other artists eventually they died very, very poor.
Right. Unfortunately.
Because they didn't really make any money out of their thing, because they didn't know the copywriting and securing their rights for the record and all that. They didn't know that was not even widespread in the industry at the time.
So when you went to Ernie's record shops and other record shops to collect records, and
we didn't go there and collect it. What we do, they were in a place called Tennessee. We wrote to them and sent them. We had to go to the post office, get money, because they would advertise what they have to sell, and they would call them specials. They would be specials. Ernie's, and I'm trying to remember the name of
That's
the
fine.
other record shop.
I'm sure it'll come. So you went, but when you ordered those records, how did you get the names of the original people to tell when you play out to tell people like these are the particular artist? How did you How did you get those real names?
Because those people announced them on the radio station. When we sat and listened to the radio stations, we had our books, and we wrote down, and we wrote, and they would tell us they would say Ernest Records, and it's Ernest and Randy's.
I knew you was gonna remember. I told you.
Randy's and Ernest.
Okay, Randy's. Big up to Clive Chin and all the Chins.
Right now we still have a record shop in Jamaica, a very popular, the most popular distribution of reggae music is Randy's.
Mm-hmm.
But Randy's and Ernest, those were out of Tennessee. And we would send for these records. We'd go to the post office, get the dollars, send for these records, and they would send it to us. They would post them to us through the post office.
But they had different names, or the artist names, like who sung the records. That wasn't the name of the true artist that really sung it, right?
Yeah, man. The records, when you heard it on the radio station, everything you heard was for real, was pure and for real.
Oh, it was. Okay.
When we got the records now, then when we got the records from them, as a sound system and as a person who was in a competition with a lot of other sounds and a lot of other sounds at the time, what we would do is cross the label and check out and then conceal who did the record when we were going to present them in the dances. So if we presented the record in a dance and it became a hit record, or it stirred up a lot of interest, people would want to know who did that record, who sing a record. We would give them like some other, like a fake name.
Really?
Yeah, that was the order that day. Nobody gave away because that was very important. One dance, one record. One record in a dance could destroy your opponent.
Wow. You conceal the name of the artist. I love it. But what I'm saying, though, is back to, when they were, I don't even know if it's not Black Label, but like when they put another artist's name on the black artists who were really singing the R&B records back then, how did you find out the real artist? That's my question. So when you presented them, you were presenting the right names to the artist, to the public.
We knew the right artists because we collected the genuine records that we heard on black radio.
I see. Okay.
So when we heard it done by white artists, we knew that it was a cover of this record that we have. You know what I mean?
So that is being a musicologist, like really studying the music and, being able to discover and make those discoveries and being able to share it. That's what musicology is all about. That's what you are.
Well, thanks for saying that.
It's true.
People have called me that, but I've never. Just like some friends came a while ago, and they were telling me about all the records that I created and all the hits I created and everything, and I just thank them for that. But yes, we that's what we did. We presented all of this stuff, and people heard it, and it grew the Jamaican music industry. It grew well to some extent. Overseas, when the other stations played, it grew the American white music industry. It grew that in a way that was,
of course,
unimaginable.
Right. So after,
it was really good. It was really great.
Yes, and thank you for doing the research and naming the proper names of those records. Thank you for doing that for us. New generation, for our generation. Thank you for doing that, and for your generation too. So thinking about playing R&B records to the next genre, as you saw, even though R&B still, is here, but thinking about Jamaican owning their own music, that whole, twist. And I know that
we're blessed. Nicole, we're blessed to see that out there that grew the Jamaican music industry.
Right.
And to some extent, that also existed, when the sound system operators of the time who were involved in the music, some of them were producers, some of them went to the studio and created the music. they also would not divulge a lot of information in the dances. Because, you know, when you had an exclusive record that you could play, it would really help to flatten your opponents. So you always wanted this weapon of what you call, today they call it specials, you know, of something that you could play that nobody else had. You had sort of exclusive rights to the record. You alone could play it, and so that from those days was a big thing in the dance. The sound that could play the most exclusive records was the sound that really ran the music scene.
Right. So
a lot of people, a lot of sound system operators, the Edwards, Duke Reed, Coxsone, they used to go overseas and search everywhere to get these exclusive records. To come back, to scratch them out.
You took this serious.
Come back and present them in a dance against each other. It was like war.
And would you say Merritones was in that league to win those wars, or did you think of Merritones at that time, or to be in that way, that big competitive sound system, or?
Well, guess what, Nicole?
Yes.
We were in the country, and all the big sounds in town heard about this because we used to use our amplifier. Was like a small little Philips amplifier that we could play it off battery and electric, but it had a powerful sound. And everybody heard about the second sound that have all these records. So people from Kingston, the big sounds from Kingston, used to send spies. What you call spies? To send someone to get friendly with us, to find out the name of all the records that we are playing and all these records that we're playing. And there are a lot of the big guys in town who eventually I used to help by giving them a list of records to send for, so that they could get those records to play against their opponents, you know. So like it was a very, 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 very competitive scene.
You know, I have a friend, Mr. Winston Merritone Blake, my mentor from back in the day when I was working on the air at Zip FM. I have Marlon Burrell, who is another broadcaster and a colleague of mine in the radio industry, who just wants to send his high regards to you.
Give him my fond regards. Marlon, much love, much respect.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm getting a lot of calls and inboxes, and he sends me the top 5 of the Foundation Radio Network, the Clinton Lindsay charts. So he was just sending me the top 5 songs that I'm going to air after our interview. So he just wanted me to let you know that he's enjoying your story, and how rich it is, and he's appreciative of the legacy.
It's a great story. It's not just as simple as sometimes as people see it now. It was a lot of work, and the thing that people did, it made friends into enemies because of a record, you know, records, and it was. I mean, like it was really interesting places. There are some people who own certain areas, like in Jamaica, like for example, like Merritone. Like St. Thomas was our territory. Nobody could come in St. Thomas and really shake us up. You know? St. Thomas was our territory. Then there was, like in Kingston, there were certain areas that certain other sound systems, they control that area. You couldn't go in that area and play and do well, because there were some...
They'll sabotage you.
That they ran that area. That area loved them, and they just don't... They're not very affectionate of the people who come in and try to overthrow their...
So there was no sabotage, because I heard that went on too in the industry.
There was no sabotage. There was sometimes some menial, little menial ways to sabotage. I cut the box twice.
Right.
But basically, it was really, really serious business.
So tell us...
was of the stage that people came out to hear their sounds dominate.
Right.
And they didn't take kindly to that not happening.
Right,
so
from their area.
Had to be, we had to do everything to ensure that we're always on top in everything and in every way we play. You know, you produce a repertoire that when you leave, people say, "Whoa, the stoner really. I mean, so that's been going on, and that's why I really can sit back and really say, boy, thanks that we survived 65 years of that. Because listen, once people come out and don't have a good time, ain't no way they're going to come back.
That's right. You want to come back, you want to get a piece of that again.
Of course.
So tell us, after just, back in the day when I was in your class, you talked to us about genres. Can you share a piece of that briefly? Because I do want to get into some other conversations before the wrap of our interview.
Yeah.
So talk about R&B, how you play these R&B records, made them known, made the real artist name known, which is phenomenal, historical in itself. So thank you again. I speak for everyone. Tell us about the next genre, like when the Jamaican starts to say, okay, we have our own talent, we're gifted. I love reggae music, like hands down. So tell us about that,
When the sound system operators who control the imports of the what we call rhythm and blues R&B records, which were mostly 78 records, and when the market started to dry up overseas, when they couldn't get a lot of the stuff that they normally shopped around to get and couldn't get it, and then in that era in the 50s, people like Elvis Presley started to penetrate the market. A lot of white music started to penetrate the market and started to get very popular. And in the real R&B sound system arena, you couldn't R&B song couldn't play an Elvis Presley record.
Mm-hmm.
You had to play a R&B record with a solid R&B with a bass and everything, So basically, it got very interesting that there was a diversion, and because because of the popularity and the constant playing of the records, of course, there were people who started to listen to hear these records that they never used to hear before, and started to like them. So you had to be a good job to know when to play your R&B. And when to drop in like Elvis Presley, and when to drop in like the other white music that started to dominate the charts, because the Miami stations were so prominent, and they started to dominate the airways so much that people were hearing a lot of stuff that they come to you and ask you to play. And so you had to get these records and have them there so that you could play them also. When it comes to crunch time, if 3% says, I want to get this record, I'm not going to leave until I hear my record, my song. You have to come up with a record to play it.
So the Mento, right? After the R&B came Mento, as far as Jamaican. No? Tell us.
Mento was first.
Yeah, at Mento, then ska, right?
No, Mento first. R&B basically is really what we call swing, swing. Big band music, swing. I mean, that is 40s, 50s music. People used to dance that. The Glenn Millers, that stuff. All those are popular music. That's what we grew up seeing our parents dancing.
Right.
Dressed in their suits and dancing, their felt hats, dancing. The swinging, swinging your mother, swinging your auntie, swinging everybody around place, and dropping what we call now as legs. And what we find interesting is that today, that is still extremely popular in the dances. Extremely popular. So in a way, a lot has changed, but in a way, nothing much has changed. Because people still do those sequences in the way that was done in the early years.
So Mento, then R&B / swing, because it was a fusion of jazz, as we know, and blue beat, as your brother told us. Then ska, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about Jamaican owning its own music.
Blue beat was what they referred to the music for in England. England created that name for our sort of a Jamaican reggae music.
I see.
Which was exported to England.
Right.
Because that was big business to buy the records in Jamaica and send them to England, and the people in England would sell them to the sound people and the people who played music in England, because England basically has a very strong Jamaican population.
Yes.
So whatever we were doing in Jamaica, it was happening in London, and they call it Blue Beat, and then the music companies got interested in the music over there, and then you had this group called the Teddy Boys, who was like a rebel group, and they chose reggae music as like their team music, that the music that they liked and followed and played was reggae music, and they used to go around and make a lot of they used to have a problem guys.
Mm-hmm.
But reggae music was their music. So like ska, blue beat, whatever it is, ska came after what we call reggae music, which is basically rocksteady. When that market also, when we found that that market also started to drop a little, then the tempo changed to ska.
And you know, Mr. Blake, because I read that it was ska then rocksteady. So you're saying it was rocksteady then ska?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying what we call reggae music, which is, yeah.
Okay.
Ska. When the ska market dried up, then came what they call reggae, which was a dance with your shoulder and so on. And then
reggae was a dance first before it became a genre?
Yeah, reggae.
I didn't know that. I mean,
reggae was a dance.
And I'm sure there's a lot of Jamaicans that didn't know that either. They try to front like they knew it, but they didn't know it.
It's something you did, hooking up your shoulder and doing a little thing, and it didn't last long because it was, to me it was, oh boy, it was to me the worst thing that happened to the music was reggae.
So reggae was a dance first.
Which is thinking about reggae itself as a genre was short-lived, because it was a strange way to dance, where you hook up your shoulder and you did some things and you did some little moves, and there were certain songs like Nanny Goat.
My mother loves that song, by the way. Mom, shout out to you. I love you. My mother loves that song. That's
Nanny Goat was one of the records
that makes her happy.
One of the chief exponents of what you call reggae music. Nanny Goat, and there was a record that I think they made named John Jones, Son of a Gun, and some other records. But put up your shoulder and you move it and so on. It lasted for me about 6 months. I don't think it took a year. When it went.
So
in the music,
mm-hmm.
And so we did nothing to prolong it.
So you're saying that was a dance. So
it was a dance.
And when did it become a genre?
Well, with time, people started to call Jamaican music reggae.
My mother says that Jamaican music is reggae, and I said no.
No.
Thank you. No. Thank you, Mr. Winston. I told her. So, Mommy, sorry. Love you.
Jamaican music is not. Jamaican music came after rhythm and blues dried up, and we were trying to create it ourselves. And it came out of ska was a part of Jamaican music. You had mento, you had reggae, you had ska.
Right.
And ska was a genre also why it didn't last that long? Because it was fast. You had to have a young lady who could dance. You had to spin. The young lady had to be able to spin.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dance that involved two people. And so, as a result of that, you didn't have a lot of great dancers. So, eventually, people. And then you would get tired after dancing.
I'm laughing, Mr. Blake, because I can hear them say, "Chaban, we don't want."
Do you understand? After dancing, records, you get tired so fast, you know, because you have to drop legs, you have to spin, you have to do things. That after that, what what they used to call, like, in our time, is like to kind of break the sequence and sort of keep things, the dance going in a quieter, more uniform way where everybody could just rock them head and rock them belly. It's called rock steady, and I think that's how rock steady really came about.
Okay, so rock steady was after ska then.
Slow beat,
Yeah.
so people could just rock.
Yeah.
Because they weren't signed, and they weren't meant to win.
So Rocksteady was after ska, just so we know that we're telling the audience. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about your Merritone talent search. I find this so fascinating that you helped pave the way for Cynthia Schloss, Mighty Diamonds, Beres Hammond, Ruddy Thomas, Loving Dear, Tamlins, Jacob Miller. You want to talk about what propelled you to create this talent search? What was the name of the talent search, by the way?
It was a Merritone talent search.
It was a Merritone talent search.
Okay, I was always, whenever I read the history of Jamaican music, I was always inspired and motivated by what Virgins did at a place called the Palace Theatre, South Camp Road. He had this talent show that produced some of the greatest acts that are Jamaican acts, Jamaican artists. He had a sort of talent series, and when that series finished and went defunct, that was it. It dried up. Nothing happened, and so years and years after, it struck me one day. I said, why not?
You're such a genius. You have this ingenuity about you.
Because everything that I did, I learned from being in the business, and what I did, I took a note of what happened in the business that was positive, and what happened in the business that was negative, and I stayed away from the negatives, and I stuck strictly, and I stuck in a pure way to the positives.
That's
so
right.
I said, listen, we had a club that we had a lot of control in terms of operational control.
Okay.
It was called Glass Buckets.
Mm-hmm.
The name was later shifted to call VIP, but it was one of the old established clubs in Jamaica that did well in the early days. But it was in the band days when you used to have a lot of bands, a lot of show bands that came from overseas, and there was always bands, and it was a very, very popular club. But somehow keep carrying bands, and in those days it was very expensive to keep carrying bands all the time, or rotating bands,
Right.
from overseas. So eventually, when it slowed right down, the business fell badly for them, and they wanted people to come there and do things. So they called me and asked me if I could come up with some ideas so that they could generate and do something. So apart from playing there, Merritone playing there a few nights, which did work for them, I thought, why not use this club and do something like a talent show? And then so I created auditions. I was involved in a record company that was just starting called New Dimension, and I said, listen, and we were advertising for artists to come in who wanted to be a part of the company, who wanted to sing, I wanted to.
So were you the one? Were you the one? Excuse me. Were you the one to select the finalists from the auditions?
Yes, I did most of that.
You did most of that.
I was the one who took them through the rehearsals, who did that, and then we had these talent shows.
I have to ask you, Mr. Blake, Cynthia Schloss. I mean, I can't have an interview with you without asking. How did you meet?
In one of the auditions, she came to audition to appear on one of the same shows that were at the VIP. She came for an audition, and I heard her sing. And I said, well, not bad, not bad. And she always said to me, after I went and sing and sang up my heart, all he said was, not bad, not bad, not bad.
Hard to
I
please.
only said, I spoke because of what I heard. I heard not bad.
Oh my God.
I didn't hear good, great, I heard not bad.
You're tough. You're a tough cookie.
I said, I think I'll give you, I'll try you on one of the shows. I said, I'd be very thankful, sir. Okay. And I said, okay. And then I went through the interviews. There were a lot of people that came from all over the place because Jamaica really, they have a lot of talent, and everybody wants to be a star.
So much talent in Jamaica.
Movie called Every Nigga Wants to Be a Star.
Gosh. Oh my God. Oh my God. So tell us about the love story quickly. Tell us about the love story with Cynthia. The love story, like what happened?
The love story developed long after the talent.
Oh, long after her performance.
Yes.
Okay.
I found that she was very good. She's a very good administrator. She could help me because she said to me, you know what, I'm Winston, you need some help. You need like somebody to write down the people who come, to write down the people who are supposed to come back, to write down this, right, so. I said, would you take on a job? And she said, sure. I'll do that. And she got a book and she wrote down all the people who came for auditions, all the people who I passed, all the people who were supposed to appear on the shows. And then there were some people who I said, look, you're not so good, so you have to go and do some extra work. And I called some people in the business and I said, ask them to listen to them and try to help them to improve certain talents that they were, and certain skills that they didn't really.
Right. So she worked very closely with you, and that developed.
Very close with that.
Okay.
And then and then as a result of that, because of she did so much of that, she had to come to my house to do a lot of that work also. And,
right.
and I did a lot of rehearsals, you know, in terms of teaching the artist repertoire, doing giving them songs to sing, to learn, doing a lot of recordings, and we did all of that at my house.
Oh.
So she would write down the artists, the songs. I would give them. I'd give them cassettes, put the records on for them to learn for the next shows, and show them points. Like if you wanted to do like a Shirley Bassey song, the strong points, the weak points, the things you do, things you don't do, and so she was there helping me all the way with that.
So was this a natural progression, that attraction, and you asked her to marry you?
I found also that she was always interested. But Winston, you haven't ate anything from morning. You haven't done this from morning. You have done so. Because I have a lot of work here to do.
You're a workaholic, Mr. Winston Merritone Blake. Order of distinction.
So she would go to the kitchen and she would cook me a very sumptuous meal.
Oh.
And she was an excellent cook. Excellent.
So how long? So you act? How did you? Okay, one more question. Me being just CHYNA NICOLE. How did you propose to her? Was it a formal proposal?
No,
it was not.
So
okay.
strange.
It was okay.
We went to a function once. A relative. I think there was some function that was held at a relative. One of our relatives had a home, and she was a JP, a justice of the peace, and there's a function at the house this day. I think it was I don't know what the function is, and then she went to the function, and I also went to the function, and when we're coming home, I said to her, you know, might be a bad idea if we got married, you know.
Aww. I'm just a sucker for love.
I'll tell you something. When I got married to her, nobody in my family knew we were married for about 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Really?
Because I've always said I don't want a big wedding. I don't want to. We're very private.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to her, the same lady, I think. She was at JP, and we just she did the documents, and we just went there, and well, she provided one hell of a meal for us today, and then the next thing I know, I saw this reverend guy coming up the hill. Good friend of ours.
You were still in St. Thomas?
No, I live in Kingston then.
Oh, you were in Kingston, okay.
At the house that I still live now.
Oh, okay.
Which is in Havendale, which is Church of Banton Drive, which I've been in for now for about nearly 40 some years.
I probably passed your house so many times when I lived in Jamaica.
Yeah, well, next time, please stop.
I certainly will. I have to see you again. I have to get a kiss again.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Great, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Cynthia Schloss, that love story.
And he came up, and I just said to him, Ernie, suppose a guy will get married to a girl. How'd that go? I said, well, Winston, first of all, you have to be serious that you won't get married to a girl. Suppose a guy is serious that he won't get married to a girl. What are the implications? And I say, no implications. You can do it. After that, you just have to fill out the necessary documents and the forms that go with it. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, listen. I said, Ernie, I just think a guy just won't get married to a girl right here or now. And I said, Winston, you really serious? I said, look at me. I look like I'm joking.
I know those eyes.
and we just did that in like about 5-10 minutes. We just met the vows and we were married.
Yay!
And like so when my family heard, everybody was a little upset because I told nobody knew for months. It's months after they heard that Winston and Cynthia got married. I said just like that. It was just impromptu on the spot, on the moment. And guess what? Because I never liked big weddings and big things. I'm a private person. I don't like big crowds. Even today, after 65 years, I try to walk through the back of a place or walk through the side. I never like to walk through crowds. I just don't like big crowds. I'm basically a shy person.
Right. Well,
and sometimes some people might think
because you play out, right?
But I'm not. I just
no, you're not. You're so kind.
Pull my corner.
You're so kind, and thank you again for sharing the story on proposal to the late great Cynthia Schloss. Thank you. So we have to wrap up soon, but so tell us. You saw Beres Hammond, Tamlins, Mighty Diamonds, who I'm falling in love with all over again, like their music. You know.
Also the old talent show.
Yeah.
Beres when I interviewed Beres, came from a Port Maria from St. Mary. I heard him and I thought, I think I can give myself a little some kudos. when I hear great voices, I can spot them.
Yes.
And when I heard Beres, I realized, but this is above ordinary. This is a great talent. And he appeared on my show, and every time he came, it was raving reviews.
Wow.
You know,
Jacob Miller. Kudos to Beres Hammond. We love you, Jacob Miller.
Jacob was also very different. I formed an affiliation with Inner Circle, and up to date, which I still have. Inner Circle band.
Big up to Inner Circle. Yes.
Yeah, we still have a very strong affiliation with that group.
So Inner Circle was with Jacob Miller when he came to your talent show, the Merritone talent show?
Inner Circle was a band that backed most of my shows. Because they were very affordable and they worked with me, because them days money didn't run and I didn't have a great sponsor, so sometimes when it will work out, you have to have a band that can say, well, I'll go and stand. When you make some money, you can give us some money. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And I found that they of all the bands I used, they were one of the bands that I could always rely on to lean with me in the roughest of times. And they, I think Jacob had just started and was doing some things with them, and he appeared on my show. And I liked him. He was different.
Was he? Did he have locks at that time?
Huh?
His hair. Was he? Did he have locks?
No.
Okay.
No, it was just a clean, nice little church-going little kid.
You truly are the person that discovered all of these amazing Mighty Diamonds who are still together to this day. That just like I'm just astounded by that information.
I mean, they're still together.
Yes.
And I feel very proud because I do see them at places and on stage shows, and they still give me a lot of respect, and I'm privileged to really and proud to be a part of that history.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. Seriously, that's probably, I mean, to be together all those years since '69 till now, that's incredible. It really is. I can't wait to meet them. I'm in discussion with some people that are connected to them. So, Ruddy Thomas, the Tamlins, all came through the same channels of, wow.
All of them came through. Unfortunately, I really enjoyed Ruddy because Ruddy was like my little son.
Yeah.
He would come here every day, just find out if I'm all right, what I want, what he can get from me. So he would. I really miss Ruddy. I really miss Ruddy. And when Ruddy died, it really it shook me in a way like very in a very deep way.
I'm sorry.
I miss him because he was in and out of my life every day. He would never be comfortable unless he knew that everything that I needed was attended to in a day. And that's what I like about Ruddy. Ruddy was very special.
Thank you for sharing that.
You know, it's very, very special.
The Tamlins, anything?
Tamlins, good group, great group. We're in touch.
Mm-hmm.
They live pretty close to me, and we're in touch, and they're still excellent. And we still, you know, when I see them, we still go and we hug and we still respect each other.
Nice.
I'm happy to know that we made a link and association that I was able to create a passage for them to
Very nice.
recognize.
You're so awesome. What about Loving Dear?
Loving Dear, I wouldn't take. Loving Dear came to me in a group,
Okay.
and that group, I think it's called Scorch Dance Group. It was a group. It came to me, and they whatever is happening in dancing in Jamaica and all over the world now in terms of reggae dancing, that group is responsible for creating that.
Okay.
Scorch Dance Group, they created all the moves and so on, so that has made reggae dancing what it is in the world today. And Loving Dear was a part of that. He came to me more as a dancer than as an artist.
I see.
But over the years, he blossomed into this great artist and great writer.
Okay. Gotcha.
Which I didn't, at the time, I take no
credit.
No, I take no credit for is knowing him as a writer and nothing. I take credit, all the credit, him as a dancer. That's why I present him as a dancer.
You're so, oh gosh, you're so humble, and you know.
But I respect that. I respect him, and because he is one of the artists who has really kept his head up high, and basically is does things his way.
Yeah.
And no other way. He has maintained all the good things, the good qualities that professionalism is supposed to be about.
Right.
He has maintained them, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Any other artists that we didn't mention?
Yeah, Raskabi also came through me. He's really an artist, and he's a great. He paints very well. There are a few, there are a few other ones that you didn't mention, and I still mention, and but no, I'm speaking to you. I'm not remembering that, but I was right down about 5, 6, or 7, 8 other acts.
You want to mention them? You can mention them.
I'm trying to remember it because some of them came to me as in groups, but they have done very well as they have broken out and done very well on their own.
Okay.
But I'm gonna save that, Nicole, for one more time when I speak to you.
Sure. Sure.
But there are quite a few acts who came to me in groups, and I see now doing very, very well on their own, and I'm my heart is swollen. I feel very pleased for them, and what I try to do is everywhere I go and see talent, I try to get the number, call them and nurture them and tell them things to do, things not to do in terms of their presentation when they go on stage. And in many cases, they always come back and say, it works. It works very well, you know?
The order of distinction.
Things not to say. And,
right.
And the most important thing is sequences, how you sequence your songs.
Right, right.
How you start and how you finish is very important as an artist when you go on stage.
How you start and how you finish, and how you sequence.
What you start with and what you finish with. Very important.
Thank you. All right, so we're just going to touch briefly upon your awards and accolades. So first of all, congratulations. The Order of Distinction, National Order in Jamaican Honors System, is it's a very, very privileged and honor that you were a member. You are now a member of the Order of Distinction. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Well, I give thanks for anything that I get. And my grandmother always tell me that one of the commandments that I grew up with at home is nothing is given, everything is earned. Mm-hmm. My grandmother always asked me to repeat that every day, and I remember that right through my life. Nothing, you don't get things, you earn things. And so basically,
what's your grandmother's name?
Huh?
What's your grandmother's name?
Anita Blake. Anita Blake.
Okay.
But she was the first Ayatollah I met. Ayatollah. I mean, she had 4 boys, and she ran us like the army.
Yeah.
Was like an army. You know.
Yeah.
You had to do all the right things, say the right words, do everything. And she knew us very well. And she really grew us well. And I mean, I think everybody who knows me say, Winston, everything is about your granny. I say, everything that I am is my grandmother.
I want to read a little bit before you go. The Order of Distinction is conferred upon its citizens of Jamaica who have rendered outstanding and important services to Jamaica or to distinguished citizens of a country other than Jamaica. So I had to bring that out because thankfully, you were recognized for your contributions.
I give thanks for that.
And you have a host of other awards, but that one
I give thanks for that.
Sticks out.
Even recently on the reggae day that they had recently, they had a international reggae day.
Yes, you just won an award. Yes.
We got an award because we are the oldest sound system. We are the oldest sound system that is functioning today in the world. The oldest sound system, Merritones.
In the world?
Yes, the oldest sound system in the world from 1950, 65 years. We can't come up with anything else. We've checked everywhere and checked the thing that check Guinness Book, check everybody. We can't come up with another sound system.
We got to make sure that's published in the Guinness Book. That Merritone sound system is the oldest sound system in the world.
I don't think it's published in the Guinness.
It needs to be.
We're trying to get them to do it, but we know basically based on what we have done and all the research we have done, Merritone is, and that's what we got this award at the annual Reggae Day, based on that Merritone sound system is the oldest sound system in the world today.
Well, I'm going to do my part, and I'm sure everyone listening to you who just respects you so much and is appreciative of your contributions will also write the World's Guinness publication. Yes, because that has to happen. They have to recognize you. But so many. We just know that there's so many articles that I see about you, and I didn't see so much about your brother. But I think through this interview, it is going to just spawn more and more and more because it was so in depth. And I thank you so much for spending over an hour with us on Linkage Radio. Dexter Blake is also a Blake. He's some kind of way related to you in a roundabout way. I'm understanding your brother also acknowledged. So that's cool. I'm working with a Blake.
Nicole, I just want to thank you for thinking us worthy of your time. And I want to thank Linkage Radio for having the patience to hear what we have to say. Because guess what? Sometimes we think we have a lot of time. but sometimes we don't have as much time as we think we have. And so it's nice to have gotten a few things out. That just whatever happens, there are a few references that you can go back to hear that it came from me, certain things that came from me. And I just want to tell you, basically, whenever you come to Jamaica, just be our guest. Love you. Thank you so much for thinking of us.
We love you so
For
much.
taking time us, for sharing your time, your very precious time. And
Our pleasure.
When I get up that side, I definitely will give you a call.
Thank you. It's an honor. God bless you. Thank you. Keeping strong. I know you have the 65th reunion coming up and the family day coming up and a whole bunch of events coming up.
Yes.
We love you. How could people follow you?
Love you.
Mr. Winston Blake, Merritone Blake, how could people follow you to find out your upcoming playouts and where you'll be to even lecture?
Yeah. We have a web on our website. One moment.
He's just phenomenal. Friends, we're speaking to Winston Merritone Blake, who created so many pathways for great artists and the oldest sound system. That's just phenomenal. So he's just going to give us a website that you can follow them.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, it's www.
Yes.
Merritonemusic.com.
Beautiful. Easy. God bless you. Jah's highest blessings. I can't wait to see you again. And thank you for being my teacher all over again.
Please. Let's get that hug and kiss going, really?
Yes. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you.
Much love.
Much love. Thank you.
Much love, Nicole.
God
love
bless you.
Thank
Love you
so
more.
Thanks so much.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to play next, after speaking to Winston Merritone Blake. Like, what do you play? One of his, obviously one of his proteges, but oh my gosh. Thank you. I love you. I'm going to play Ruddy Thomas because he was so good. He mentioned how wonderful Ruddy Thomas was to him and how that affected him. So I'm going to first, just give me a second. I'm here. I'm just